And now, welcome to the Great Cigar and Pipe Show. Presented by Hiram and Solomon Cigars, the Oliva Cigar family, and the J.C. Newman Cigar Company. Coming to you live from the Corona Cigar Company studios.
Hey,
listen to that.
Good evening, everyone. And look, and we got Florida is on a heat wave down there, as you can see. Retired Bob and cousin Frank trying to cool themselves off with the latest accessories.
We're in the cool down mode here.
Yes.
Yep.
Otherwise, we'll be sleeping from the heat.
That's all right. And then Kyle's inside his lanai with the air conditioning on.
He's inside an air conditioned room.
What is Kyle drinking?
When you move to Florida, you got to do it right. You air condition your lanai. I don't care who you are. But
You're right.
Kyle, what are you drinking over there?
What I'm drinking tonight is I am drinking the new Chris Stapleton Traveler's Whiskey Blend number 40.
Right. I heard that was real good, actually.
Yeah,
Only for traveling.
Yep. It's hard to see, but in the back of the label there, you got like a map of, Tennessee in there.
Yeah. I see that.
That's pretty cool.
How is it? Good, Kyle?
Yeah. Well, this is from the distillery Buffalo Trace, which is my all-time favorite distillery coming out of Kentucky. So you can't go wrong with anything coming out of Buffalo Trace. I mean, this is actually really good. I was able to get it for under $40, so I was very happy. And
that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's very good.
Local supply store here was able to hook me up. So
nice.
They used to be my favorite distillery until they started playing this game of not distributing.
Well, everybody
you can't
likes
get any of their shit anywhere.
Everybody likes to play that game
of
of making shortages so that
artificial shortages,
to make prices run through the roof.
Yeah,
but hey, what are you going to
do? The supply chains are starting to get better because a lot of those hard to find whiskeys are actually showing up on shelves and being easier to be bought now. I mean, you can look at Eagle Rare, E.H. Taylor.
Can't find it here. I cannot find it here.
A hard one to find still for whatever reason, but every other ones have been popping up on the shelves a lot easier nowadays. So I don't know. Whatever they're doing better. So I'm keeping my taste buds wet.
Saying hello. We got Ken Dorbecker in the house. We got Chris
Jesus in the house, man.
We've got Richard Beard,
the Philadelphia Kid.
Yep, we've got a bunch of folks checking us out. Always,
and will you bunch of folks please hit your share button, man? Let's get this show out to everyone you know.
Bruce, start calling Obi-Wan Bobobi. That's
nice one, Bruce.
These are not the cigars you're looking for.
These are not the cigars that you're looking for. Speaking of cigars, tonight's show I'm really super excited about because during mail call, and you open up a box and you're excited, right? There's a reason for being excited, knowing that cigars are coming your way.
Every guy's excited when you open up a box.
but on this special occasion, so I open up the box and I see these cigar boxes, and I'm reminded of the old days of VHS.
Porn.
So tonight we're going to talk about this very full-bodied, as you can tell, super yacht. Definitely a full body, without a doubt. And then you got a little bad Barbie happening. Everybody loves a bad Barbie. Everybody loves a bad Barbie. And then not only cigars show up, but now you've got seasonings. So I've got all of these great seasonings. I've got masala, the spicy masala. I got the sweet garlic love. I got some filthy salt, and then nothing better. I love a great mustard on my hot dog. So I get this, and it's called dirty mustard. So I'm like, okay, not only are the names absolutely fantastic,
I love them.
then we did the sniff test on all of these.
Yep.
And I was like, oh boy, this
Can't
is
wait
gonna
to
be
try them
exactly
on food.
So I'm looking forward to that. So this cigar show is also like a food show. It's a show about creativity.
Our guest is multi-talented.
I mean, he is. This man is like a
He's done it
Renaissance
all.
man.
He's done it all.
He is a Renaissance man.
Really?
Musician, artist, chef, luxury handbag maker. We're talking beautiful leather work. Oh my God. Oh, and I didn't realize, but Lars created back in the day a skateboard. So he had skateboards, a metal, which is aluminum skateboard. So there's so much that this man has done.
The first one for Jan and Dean at the Tammy show.
He's not that old,
Bob. Not that old.
But that's the thing. I mean, so we're dealing with someone who not only is a cigar maker and blender, you can tell obviously he has an incredible creative genius.
Absolutely.
The guy's got it, man. He's got it.
Yeah, big time. So I'm really super excited about the show tonight. I really am.
So hit the share button, everybody, please.
Yeah, hit the share button.
Definitely.
Get the word out.
There.
Get the word out, because we don't want to just keep this to ourselves. We want to share this with the universe, and that's why when we come back right after these words, should we introduce ourselves?
Didn't you put that little piece there, the scratch and sniff, so they can smell the
I did. I don't know if everybody got that in the email.
Frank, and you can smell this stuff, man. It's
we're doing
fantastic.
a scratch and sniff.
And we did not introduce ourselves. So let's introduce ourselves, because we do have a lot of new players over here.
That's true.
I'm Ronnie Pecorini.
No.
The man down below is Kyle Jesso down here in Tampa.
Down below. Even though he's
to me, he's down below. To me, he's down below. And you guys are even below that. All right? So forget about it. Here's Kyle Jesso. He's waving. No talking. And then we got my brother, retired Bob, over there.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
And then the one, the only, the church master himself, Cousin Frank.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm gonna ask Lars what we should smoke tonight, because I'm conflicted.
The one that runs 60 minutes.
the full length.
The 120.
We want the full length.
Yeah.
In high def.
So right after these words from our sponsors, folks, we'll be right back with Lars Tetens.
At Norwood Royal Cigars, we have the biggest walk-in humidor in the Midwest. Our 1,500 square foot humidor is home to almost 4,000 different cigars that will meet the need of any cigar enthusiast. We have boutique blends to the more traditional selections and everything in between. From the novice beginner to the aficionado, the knowledgeable staff at NRC will find the perfect cigar for you. Located on the northwest side of Chicago, we want to be your shop for all your cigar wants and needs. As always, at Norwood Royal Cigars, light it, smoke it, love it.
Experience the magic of Rockefeller cigars today. With 11 years steeped in tradition, passion, and mystery of the leaf, Rockefeller has a cigar just for you. Be like the greatest magicians and make Rockefeller cigars appear in your lineup with any of our 4 lines: the Nicaraguan, the Dominican Blue, the Vintage Gold, and our new LE, the Art of Magic.
Cigar in the Bottle is 2 palate-pleasing gifts in one. A specially blended Grand Pommier XS VSOP Cognac is elegantly contained in patented numbered bottles. Winner of back-to-back-to-back-to-back medals at the LA Spirits Awards, Cigar in the Bottle inventor Forbidden Johnny teams up with Vartan and Hendrik Kellner for this custom-blended Vartan Reserva cigar, well-preserved in a hand-blown glass chamber featuring Boveda 2-way humidification.
All begins at the very first climate-controlled Rodriguez Olivan cigar factory located in the Dominican Republic. Our 2 major brands include Don Olivan, which are boutique cigars suited for that individual who takes great pride in something unique. BAMF is our armed forces cigars, designed for that badass mother effer. Not only are you smoking a great premium cigar, a percentage of the proceeds is donated to our heroic men and women in uniform.
And we're back.
And we are back, folks. We are back. I don't know. I was having a little audio issue there, but that's probably because I was playing games with the board.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do it.
Absolutely.
And there he is.
The one and only, the legend himself.
Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
How are you? Yes, Jennifer's on board saying hello. You got a lot of your followers jumped on.
Stogie Road Cigars, yeah, baby.
There we go.
There's
We got
There
Kurt.
you go.
Yep.
Yep,
I love you guys.
So Lars, tell me first, right off the bat, where was the inspiration on the video VHS boxes for your cigars? Where did that inspiration come from?
I don't know. I was making them, I don't know, over 30 years ago.
Right. And I think that they hold up not only today, but I think there's a certain nostalgia that they bring. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I used to have a factory down in Ecuador, and I had a printing company that did some beautiful boxes for me down there. They were just like that. I love that style.
Right.
And it's got to be about 30, 35 years ago, something like that.
Wow.
That's
Amazing.
awesome.
That's when there were video stores too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now everything
True story.
Wow.
That is true.
So tell us a little bit about your journey. Not even
Hey,
only
Bruce.
cigars.
How you doing?
I mean, cigars was probably. Oh, how old were you when you got involved in?
Well, I started smoking cigars every day when I was 9.
Wow.
And then by the time I was 15, I was rolling cigars every day and making blends for the 2 factories that I worked with.
Wow. So now, where did you live?
In a year, my blends became really the only blends I sold.
Interesting. Now,
9 years old. You didn't have parents?
Yeah. My dad. Hey, Jason, how you doing, baby? My dad did not want me smoking cigars. But, I was making money on my own and doing my own thing since I was real young. So he didn't, I just did it. And my mom smoked cigars, so my mom didn't care. She was fine with me smoking cigars.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I
9
mean,
years old.
where
I
were
didn't
you
start till I
living?
was like 14.
Yeah. Where were you living
Way
at the
behind
point
you.
where you were rolling and smoking? Where were you living at that time?
Okay. So I was in Manhattan when I started rolling cigars. Hey, Richard.
Okay. Where did you roll them? In your basement?
No. I worked with this factory. So let me do you want me to go through the whole story?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it, man. The people who don't know you.
We're from Manhattan.
A friend of mine introduced me to Antonio Martinez, it's Martinez Cigars. He's died, but Jesus, his son, still owns it. And his dad taught me how to roll cigars when I was like 15. And then that was on 29th Street. And then on 30th Street, this guy Sanchez, who had a little cigar shop and factory there, he ended up teaching me also how to roll cigars. You know, it was funny because before I even was able to roll cigars, I spent 3 months just cleaning. And I owned modeling agency, a casting company, and a whole bunch of business, a management company in Manhattan. Okay. And I still was going every day to this cigar factory and cleaning the floors, cleaning the toilets, doing whatever work they wanted me to do. They didn't even know my name. They just called me White Boy. White Boy, do this. White Boy, do that. And that's all they called me. It was White Boy. Hey, Frank, how are you doing? And so, you know, that was like, that's how it started out. And then after a little bit rolling cigars there, the cigars that I rolled, everybody else was in a back room rolling, and I was in the front because I was like a little circus act. Look, it's a white boy rolling cigars. And they had all their cigars. It was about 25 cents to $1.50 in the case in the front. And then they had mine on top of that case in a little humidor thing, and those were all $10 a piece. And when people were like, why is this $10? They were like, oh, it's because it's a white boy. It's a white boy rolling cigars.
That's great.
That was the answer. I don't know. And I think people started getting them because they just thought it was funny, a white boy rolling cigars. So they had all this tobacco that was the reject tobacco they couldn't use. It would be cheaper for them just to keep it than shipping it back and trying to get other tobacco. It was a pain in the ass. So they just had it all stored, and they didn't want me to fuck up their good tobacco. So they just gave me all the shit tobacco that they couldn't use and said, go ahead, you figure out, like, you know, how to roll cigars. So I just took all the cigars that were rejects and made blends out of it. And then, you know, I traveled a lot. So I went all over to buy tobacco, and the tobacco that people were throwing away was Ligero. So they used that for compost, or they threw it out, or, you know, I remember a number of times they paid me to take it away thinking I was the garbage man.
Interesting.
And now it's one of the most expensive leaves, but nobody was using it back then.
Yeah.
Wow. I started rolling cigars with Ligero just because I got it free. And I thought it tasted good. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. So I was consistently putting it into my cigars and using it. And I thought that tasted great. I made blends for a lot of other companies with Ligero, but nobody really liked it and thought it was garbage. So then eventually people started, you know, it really was like late 90s, early 2000s, people started really using Ligero. And then it became something, you know, a part of the staple of the cigar world. But before that, nobody was really using it. It wasn't like a thing. And I used it all the time because it was free. And I thought it tasted good.
You're actually the pioneer. You brought it to the table for everybody.
Absolutely, that was one of the things I pioneered for sure.
Now you were on 30th
the marketing on cigars, the way people package cigars today and market cigars, no one had ever done that before I did it. So you know,
you really definitely were a pioneer.
You were.
Without
now, Lars, you said you were on 30th Street. 30th and what year was this?
This is between 8th and 7th, and it was the same 8th and 7th on 29th Street. And we're talking about late 70s and the late 70s.
Okay, wow. Because I used to hit all the tobacco stores in Manhattan every Saturday. And I don't remember this little shop that you're talking about.
Yeah, Anthony's.
Anthony's.
But at that time, it wasn't called Anthony's. Now it's Martinez Cigars. At that time, it was Five Brothers Kenya.
Oh. No, I never heard of that one.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, I hit all of the big ones.
And then on 30th Street was Sanchez, and he was really like one of the genius cigar makers, really one of the top guys. Anthony was just a roller in the factory at the time. Then he ended up becoming a manager and then owning the cigar factory. So, and you know, I rolled for both of them. Sanchez would come by my cigars, feel them, smell them, take one puff or two on one of the sticks and say, no, this is garbage, and just take all my cigars and throw them in the garbage. And the other room, the manager would come over, take all my cigars out of the garbage and put it in the fucking display.
And the display
goes for $10
a pop. And those end up becoming, he never once ever told me I was good at blending, But within a year, that was the only blends he sold were my blends. And then at Five Brothers Kenya, which became Martinez Cigars, Anthony basically, he put my cigars up in this little case thing. It became like their top selling cigars. And it was so much more money. And I didn't get any money I never got paid or anything. I had money. I had modeling agency, casting company, management company. So I was fine. And I would buy everybody presents just to teach me.
So you were there for, like you said, you started when you were 9 and you were there for
smoking cigars every day when I was 9.
And when did you start rolling? When you
15.
were 15. So you were 15. And then for how many years did you roll?
I've been rolling until, even recently I roll cigars. I just am not like doing it on a daily basis like that.
Right.
I'm 60 now, so.
Gotcha. Wow, you look great, by the way.
Yeah, I would not have taken you for 60, especially with the purple. Yeah. But you're young. But what you've done in your 60 years, my God, Lars,
incredible.
What a really story and legacy that you're leaving behind in the future. Many things in such a short period of time. Everything. Yeah. It's just amazing. Now, were you born and raised in New York City, or?
No, I was born in Manhattan at Pittsburgh Hospital.
Okay.
And then our family had multiple locations. We had a horse and bull stud ranch in Greenwich, Connecticut, and then another horse ranch and farm up and a bunch of other animals in Esperance and New York, upstate New York, and then a place down in Georgetown in Washington, D.C.
Wow, I just lit up this Bad Barbie. So it has a little bit of a sweet tip on it, right?
A little bit like that. Hey, Christopher.
Tiny bit.
It tastes like berries.
Yeah,
it really does. It tastes like berries.
It's like a charred, it's like a chocolate-covered blackberry. That's where I would say this is taking me. This is fucking incredible, by the way. I was like, first initial retro, it kind of blew me away. I have to.
The one thing you're going to see, the tobacco is all super high quality tobacco.
Oh my God!
Nothing is like half-assed. Even in my least expensive cigars, I'm using high-end tobacco. Very, very good tobacco.
And again, it speaks for itself. You are just taken immediately. I feel like this is going to be my roller coaster cigar. This is going to take me,
I'm stuck on berries. The blackberry is right there. It's amazing.
Oh, what a wonderful!
It tastes like marmalade. Wow.
Fantastic! Wow, fantastic. Yeah. So, you write music. You play the guitar.
Yeah, I play drums, guitar, bass, keyboards, that kind of stuff.
I see a load of guitars behind you there.
A few things. So obviously you're a very creative person. That goes without saying. And there's a certain amount of gifted and talented that you're a person with a very high IQ. Without a doubt.
No, I don't have a IQ.
No, you do.
Oh, come on.
My family all have high IQs. I was the idiot.
No.
I have a low IQ.
Don't downplay this.
No dumb person makes a cigar like this.
I think it's simpler for stupid people to make things than for smart people. Smart people just talk themselves out of doing things. I'm too stupid to do that, so I just look at something like, oh yeah, I want to do that, and don't realize that I can't do it. So I just keep trying. Listen, I'm not smart. My IQ was tested many times. I'm very low IQ, retarded low. And so my parents, I remember being like almost 6 years old. And I told my parents I wanted to do this thing I wanted to do. And they were like, and because my parents told me I was special, and and so I told my parents this thing I wanted to do, and then my parents were like, well, Lars, you can't do that. You're not like other people. You can't do those. You won't be able to do that. And I was like, but you told me I was special. Yeah, not in that way special. You're stupid. And if you want to do something, it's going to take, you have to work 10 times harder than a regular person to do it. So I look at that as a bad thing. I was like, okay, there's the formula. I just have to work 10 times harder than another person to be able to do that same thing. So I just took it as that, and I just worked extra hard. I dedicated myself. I trained myself to be very focused. I had autism also when I was a kid, but not the autism where you have that autism like smartness. I never had any of that part. I was stupid and autistic.
So you weren't the cigar man.
Yeah, so I just like learned through martial arts and training, like a lot of different kinds of training. Wow. I was able to focus my mind to be able to do things. And I had a hard time even talking to people because of the autism, but I just worked on myself really hard to be able to communicate with people and to be able to talk and to be able to not control my body. If I get really tired, sometimes I have the autistic tics, but that's just something I've had to work with most of my life.
Well, again, another big accomplishment.
Oh, absolutely. And
I don't want
I had no choice.
I don't want you to spill the secret sauce of what's in the cigar, but what is the cigar? This
is filled with deliciousness.
Very different cigar.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always made when I started making cigars when I was just 15 in 79, people were basically smoking up rolled up magazines. Any cigar had no flavor at all to it. You couldn't tell you were even smoking something. It just tasted like nothing.
Right.
So I was getting all this bad tobacco that they couldn't use. So I kind of was able to do something with it and make something out of it. And then I started doing conditioning processes that I found out was being done in the Amazon around Venezuela back 6,000 and over years ago, where they were making cigars and conditioning the tobacco. I went down there and I worked with some of the people who had that ancient way of conditioning cigars and was able to develop something.
Wow.
And I had a factory down there for about 15 years.
Okay. Holy cow.
Yeah.
But how do you get this berry taste out of tobacco?
Condition it with deliciousness.
It's not an infused taste.
No, it's not. It's not infused.
It's natural, but I never had a tobacco. It tastes like berries.
Do you understand?
I understand. I have a.
And the funny thing is that you still can taste all the delicious tobacco.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not like it overwhelms anything.
No. You know what it kind of reminds me of a little bit, Bob, is a little bit of like pipe tobacco in a way.
Yes.
It does have that type of depth of flavor, which is a little different than just your everyday cigar.
Without the casing.
Right, without a casing.
A natural tobacco without casing, but it's like it has casing on it. It's blackberry. I don't know. It's really unique.
Thank you.
Incredibly unique.
It's
incredibly
delicious.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Yeah, this already goes right up at the upper echelon for me of cigars that I've had
this is like
that
dessert.
are memorable.
The dessert.
Yeah, that are memorable. And that's the great thing about cigars. You will have cigars that you can smoke every day and it's enjoyable. And then you'll grab a cigar and it'll immediately be something that you will always remember. And that's what this cigar is for me.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a memorable cigar. It's not one that.
So on the Barbie band, that Barbie is one of the girls who really helped build the brand. And on the packaging, because we haven't changed the band, but the packaging,
right?
That's my girlfriend on there.
Gotcha.
And she is one of the owners of the company.
Gotcha.
And
don't ever break up with her.
Don't ever break up with her.
Wow.
Hey, listen.
Hey, you've done well. Wow.
Woo. There's not that much of an age gap, only 35 years.
God bless. 35. Wait, that makes it 25. What are you doing?
25.
Jesus.
And look, she smoked
for
cigars.
you.
She smoked cigars before I ever met her. Her mom's been smoking my cigars since her mom was 17.
Wow.
Her dad's been smoking my cigars since he was in his 20s. And her and one of her brothers started smoking my cigars when they were like 10 and 12. She was 10 when she started smoking my cigars.
Wow.
So I gather the family's all in for her to hang out with you. You're
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
That's great.
Wow.
I mean, they're my family.
Yeah, that's right. That's awesome. Exactly. So you had a modeling agency. You did some management, artist management, right? So you managed some artists. Any people that you can have some good stories about? You know, we need some dirt about some of the people.
Yeah, I never ever talk about the people I work with, but I mean, you can go through my Facebook and see lots of different people I've worked with throughout the years. I've worked with a lot of celebs. I dated a lot of celebs.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that's really so very cool too. And being in Manhattan, you had that New York flair.
Well, of course, you know, you're exposed to everything there.
Absolutely.
The city is, it was a vibrant place. I don't know about now, but.
So where are you living
back
now?
in the day.
Where are you living now? Are you Malibu? Are you in Malibu? Where are you?
No, I have multiple places, but my main location is in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Where?
It's a little north of Allentown.
So,
okay.
Or horse country.
Yes.
No,
it's horse country.
Like horses over there.
A lot of Amish, a lot of horses.
Yeah, you got the horses. Absolutely.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
No, I know Allentown. I used to go there a lot.
So now you've designed handbags. How did you get to designing handbags? Is that just kind of happen?
Yeah, I'll tell you that story. That's a funny kind of story too. So when I was in Greenwich, my sisters came to me and they were like, all of the kids in Greenwich all the girls had tons of Barbie dolls.
Mm-hmm.
And my sisters came to me. They wanted, women always want to outdo each other. So they asked me to make some clothes, design clothes and design furniture for their Barbie doll houses and make some original paintings and stuff that can be put on the Barbie doll house. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. So I was like, I went ahead and started making it for my sisters for the Barbie doll clothes. And then I became the couture designer of Barbie doll clothes in Greenwich, Connecticut.
Wow. Oh, my God.
And one of the things I made were little pocketbooks and backpacks and luggage and all that kind of stuff that I was
miniature scale.
Yes, a miniature scale. And then I did furniture. That's how I started learning how to make furniture. And then I started doing paintings for the houses. And that's how I started to learn how to do all that stuff. And I thought it was a nuisance until I started making money from it. And then I embraced it and I continued to do that. So, I mean, it all started out doing Barbie doll stuff. And then I ended up like teachers wanted the outfits I was making for the Barbie dolls. The parents wanted me to make stuff for them that was in human size. And then the kids wanted it, and I just continued to do that. I also made a bunch of Halloween costumes. I made like Superman and Batman ones with like muscles that moved using aluminum and foam and shit.
Wow. You were ahead of time.
And doing like whole like body stuff with muscles everywhere and stuff like that. So I started designing that kind of stuff when I was really young. And at the same time, I was doing seasonings and making cookies and brownies and all chocolate truffles, smoking my own peppers and growing peppers that were super spicy and then smoking them so I had a natural smoke flavor, which I continue to do this day. But then I was using that with chocolate and chocolate truffles and brownies and cookies. And so mixing this really sweet, savory kind of thing.
Right.
As a little kid. And that was back in the 60s.
Holy cow.
Wow. So nobody was doing that. And so my stuff sold really well.
Smoking banana peels.
Wow.
That is just such a great story.
So let's cut to the chase. What don't you know how to do?
Right. Well, I don't know. I don't think we can't list anything that
I don't drink, you know.
Terrible parking. I hit everything. You don't want to ever park near me because I'm terrible parking. There's lots of things I can't do. It just happens to be those things that I did that were successful.
Oh,
I
man.
kept doing. The things that weren't successful, I just didn't do anymore.
Okay, so you're making all of this miniature Barbie clothing, handbags, luggage. Now you're doing all the sewing. You're doing all of it. It's
at that time I was doing all the sewing myself.
You were doing it all.
Yeah, when I was
like, you learn how to do it.
How did you learn how to sew?
My parents didn't know how to do it, and look, I started doing all the sewing myself. And then my parents said, well, listen, if you keep doing this, we'll get you a sewing machine. And then they got me a sewing machine. I had to figure out how to use that because nobody else knew how to do it. And a lot of trial and error. It was not fun. It was, there wasn't like YouTube where you could just look it up on YouTube and figure it out. You had to just figure it out or get get somebody who'd mentor you and like work as an apprentice. But I didn't even have anybody around who did that.
Right.
So I just had to kind of figure it out myself.
You have a low IQ.
Amazing person.
I'm calling you out on that one. No way.
No. Listen, I'm too stupid to know I couldn't do it. I just did it. I just kept working on it and figuring it out until I actually figured out how to do it. I wasn't like I created everything brilliantly in the beginning. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying things.
You were experimenting.
I mean, in the beginning, I didn't know how to sew or anything. I would just put holes in the stuff. And then, lace upholstery thread through it so it was strong. Right. And then made bags like that until my parents bought me a sewing machine that I could actually sew leather with. And then I just started doing that. And also, then I got another sewing machine that I could sew clothing with. And then when I was like 8, I hired a couple of full-time.
8 years old, he's hiring
people. He's hiring full-time people.
Yeah. You're unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. That's great.
8 years old.
But listen.
8 years old, man. Come on.
I knew I had to keep the people employed. So when I was like around 9, I hired somebody like in their late 50s who was retired and an accountant to actually run the company like a real person could run a company. I didn't know how to do all that.
Ride a bicycle.
Is that when the skateboard came into play here? I mean, I know you.
Yeah, I started making skateboards when I was like 8 and 9, and I continued to do it. And when I was living in Manhattan, I was with a whole group of skateboard crews. And when I lived in Rancho Palos Verdes in California, I was very young. I was making skateboards and everybody was like, oh, make me a skateboard. And people just started buying my skateboards. I didn't even know I could get paid for it. I thought it was cool. Look, when I started blending cigars for all these companies, it wasn't until my 20s when one of the companies, which is a major company, I'm not going to mention the names, but the husband and wife said to me, Lars, we should really be paying you for these blends. You can make money. I said, I can make money from this? I had no idea. I didn't know you got paid to make blends. I was just honored that somebody even thought my blends were good enough to use. I thought, oh, that's really awesome. Like, I never even thought about making money from it. So,
I gotta ask you, how did you make a skateboard?
Yeah.
I started with wood, and I would do, put it in vices and put like weights on top of it and do all sorts of stuff to
bend them,
curve the wood. Yes. And then I started also using metal and bending it. Right. And I didn't even really know how to do it, but not really. So I was doing all weird things. And sometimes I was literally putting it against metal poles in our garage and having our mechanic drive a car to pull the stuff so it would bend it. Dumb thing. And that's when I started putting holes in the board so that I could put a chain on it. And what now?
Did making holes in putting holes in the board, did that make it a little bit more flexible?
It did give it a better flex. And then later on, when I was older, I started getting from the Air Force aircraft aluminum.
Right.
Had full flex on it.
Right.
Let me tell you about my first skateboard. This is how I made it. This was after the movie Tammy Show with Jen and Dean came out with the first skateboard. I don't know if you remember the old roller skates. They were metal. They used to come apart.
I did that. I know what you're talking about.
And I put a 2x4 on it.
Yeah.
And that's how we went down the hill.
Yeah, I used plywood and the roller skate wheels. I did that same thing when I was younger. Yeah, 100%. But then I went to like hardware stores where they had like because I want to do off-road skating. So I'd go to the hardware stores where I'd get these like things for like carts and they had big wheels and big. And then I would just use those. And so I could it was a much smoother ride. And when you're riding around, especially in Manhattan, you want the bigger wheels to make it smoother rides.
Right.
So it just became a thing for me. And then I sold a lot of those boards. Big, long boards. I had boards that were 6 feet taller than me.
That's for 2 people.
Well, those are the long
You could have 2 people on those.
Yeah, the longboard really made it back in the early 2000s. You were actually 30 years, 40 years ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you brought that from California, the longboard versus the shortboard from surfers, right?
Well, no, I did bring it into New York with the longboards, but actually I started in Manhattan because I thought it was cool and it was more stable. So I was skating in Manhattan with the longboards, and then I went to California.
So when people saw you on the longboard, they're like, "Where did you get that from?"
Right.
Exactly.
How many roller skates?
And when they tried it, a lot of the skaters would try my board out and they'd say, "Hey, can you make one for me?" And that's how it started.
Wow, man, amazing.
Unbelievable.
Really is.
What a great
We're talking to a genius here with a low IQ.
Low IQ.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm a genius. I'm telling you, sometimes being stupid is okay.
I heard there's a podcast or something like that, right?
Yeah, I'm so stupid. That's my podcast.
I know. I'm just busting out.
Yep.
Give me a little plug on that one, buddy.
Thank you very much. A lot of people, when they're around me, they don't really think that until they're around me a lot. I'm not that smart, but I just worked on things. And plus, I was born into a family that had pretty good connections. So I was able to meet a lot of people that mentored me. Well, I was a really good student. And my focus was always, when I was young, to find really masters of a certain trade I wanted to learn and then study under them and just be a great student and do anything they told me.
Right.
And they taught me because, I was a good student.
You're a smart guy.
Yeah.
I'm not smart, but I was a good student.
He surrounded himself with smart people.
You're right. I surrounded myself with people way smarter than me.
But it rubs off. You know that.
It helps me out a lot.
Lars, I got to ask you then. So when are you going to start doing your own wine production? I mean, this is like the natural progression.
Yes,
I already do have one.
Oh, he has it already. He's got liquor.
He does.
Tell us about the liquor department.
Yeah, exactly. Right there.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
You got to do whiskey now.
I'm working on a bourbon right now, but it won't be out. It started aging about 2 years ago. We're going to release it in about 3 to 4 years.
Nice. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Nice.
That is amazing.
So, can you tell us the future? What else do we invest in?
Let's take a quick break. We'll go to our sponsor. Then when we come back, we got a couple more questions for Lars.
You got it.
All right.
Wow. All righty. Share, everybody. Share, please. Get it out there. Hit your Facebook share button.
Another day in paradise. Snagging cigars.
Howard G Cigars is a dynamic new cigar brand grown from a love for cigar culture and a respect for the artisanship behind the craft. We are a minority-owned family business based in Orlando, Florida. Our current collection delivers 3 exclusive lines: the Black Moses, Magic Stick, All Pro Series featuring Leon Searcy's signature cigar and Ike Taylor's one-of-a-kind, and the newly released Perfect Round, featuring 18 cigars, a front 9 and a back 9. Visit our website at www.howardgcigars.com. You can find a full list of our retail partners there too. Thank you for making us part of your humidor.
This is Phil Morgan, General Manager of Missouri Meerschaum Corncob Pipes in Washington, Missouri. Our mission since 1869 has been to produce great smoking pipes that anyone can afford. We guarantee our pipes won't be your most expensive, but they just might be the ones you smoke the most. At Missouri Meerschaum Company, we don't just sell our corncob pipes, we grow them, make them, and smoke them. Missouri Meerschaum, Washington, Missouri, since 1869.
Loyalty, passion, courage. These are the founding principles of K by Karen Berger Cigars. The Maduro, the Habano, and the newly rated 93 by Cigar Journal Connecticut. Do yourself a favor and check out this wonderful line of cigars that come from a completely linear company from seed to your hands. A family of 4 generations in tobacco. It started in Odense, Denmark, 141 years ago, 1882, with a factory and a retail store by Eric Peter Stokoby. 4th Generation is a premium quality brand consisting of a selection of tin and loose tobaccos made in Denmark, pipes made of the finest quality briar, and superior accessories from leather goods, lighters, and pipe tools. The selection of 4th Generation products are available in premium pipe and cigar stores in the US and many European countries. Check out 4thGenPipeTobacco.com.
And we are back.
Lars, are these available in boxes of 20 or 25? Or
they're available in boxes of 30.
Boxes
30.
Of 30. There you
Oh,
go.
wonderful.
Oh, this is truly
That'll
a
be
treat.
3 days for me.
He'll go through that in 3 days. One day.
But yeah,
Wow.
I really pretty much all my cigars are in boxes of 30.
I love it.
I have like a super high end line that's called the vintage line, and that one will be I've had it forever, so it's just going to be released with a new distribution and very selective stores. I don't even know if we're going to have more than 40 or 50 stores in the United States I'm going to sell it in. Wow. We're looking at maybe 60 to 100 stores around the United States. And some will be in private clubs and stuff like that, so it won't really be available to the public. But those cigars will have a lot of my sticks that go for they're, starting around $50, all the way up to about $3,000, $4,000 a cigar.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's some rare tobacco there.
And even those really high end ones still sell in boxes of 20. The ones that are up to $1,000 a stick still sell in boxes of 30.
Those are in lounges in Dubai.
Yeah, we have some of there too, and Hawaii.
Wow.
And in New Jersey. Listen, Sanja's Smoke Shop in Bloomfield, New Jersey.
Sanja's got them.
Oh,
yeah.
$1,000 sticks. He's been selling my $1,000 sticks and $1,200 sticks for 30 years.
Shit. Wow.
Well,
This is
we do have to get up there.
A treat.
This is very impressive.
Very
impressive.
This cigar,
man.
right? So the cigar that we're smoking right now, retail. What are we looking at?
In around $20-something to about $30-something.
Wow.
Beautiful. Worth every penny.
Absolutely.
Yep. Depending on the tax and stuff.
Right.
It's insane though, the cigars that it really is insane, the cigars that I make that are from back even 45 years ago when I was 15, which is one of these cigars right here.
Let me hold on a second. Let me get a picture of that one.
Close up, get the label, get the finger
Okay.
off the label.
It's open on the end. It's not cut. That's just the way it's made.
Okay.
I never wanted to even make cigars with a head on it. I just wanted to have them open on both ends.
Right.
And I do have lines that are just open on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
This is absolutely fabulous. I mean, I don't know what else I can really say. This is one of the best cigars I ever smoked.
Yep.
In all
Thank
honesty.
you so much. Thank you.
This is unique.
Right.
Unique.
Hey, listen, after 45 years, you better get good at something.
Wow.
I think finding everything you're doing is really well. I mean, from where you started to where you are today, all the accomplishments. Lars, it's
when I
amazing.
first started rolling cigars, I just put them in big plastic bags of 50 cigars. I didn't even put a band on them. In fact, there was a number of cigar stores that were buying them from the cigar shop that would bring them to their cigar shop. There was a number of places. A guy who I think he's right now in Davidoff in the marketing department. His father, who has an official Davidoff shop, was a partner with another guy in New Orleans, and they were buying my cigars, and they still didn't know my name. It was when I was like 15 to 16. And they just put a sign on it, just like in the cigar shop. They had a little cardboard sign with permanent marker, the big magic marker, White Boy Cigars. And they sold them down at their place in New Orleans, and it was called White Boy Cigars.
Amazing.
Nobody even knew who I was. It was kind of crazy.
Do you have a label called? Do you have a cigar called the White Boy?
No, I don't. Everybody's asking me to do that, but
well, there you go. So what's holding you back?
And it really funny is one of the guys who has a collection of my cigars from back when I don't even have any more of those cigars. Is Trent Reznor from 9 Inch Nails.
Oh, really?
He has a huge collection of my old stuff.
Wow. Oh, that's very cool.
Well, I got to ask you, really, what is the leaf that is giving me this heavy berry taste?
Well, that stuff is
like incredible.
That comes, those cigars, that leaf is coming from Pennsylvania. It's Pennsylvania broadleaf, which I've been using now for like 30 years. Mm-hmm. Getting it from the Amish people.
I've never smoked a cigar.
It's the way it's seasoned, Bob.
Yeah,
he's a seasonings master.
Wow,
so that's
that conditioning stuff.
Yep. Oh yeah. I mean, that's what's going on. I mean, so you said
but
that
also the flavor of the tobacco is a really great. If you start out with a great stick and great tobacco, and then you condition really good tobacco, you're going to get a complex flavor profile. And absolutely. The more things you do, because I have lots of different techniques that I do, and it's labor intensive. So it's not like making a regular cigar. This is very labor intensive. Okay. And I do real aging, which most people don't even understand how to age cigars. I mean, even if you go to South America and you see their aging rooms, the humidity is right around 69, 70% or more.
Right.
And you can't age a cigar like that.
Right.
You have to bring the humidity down to like 10 or 15%. Wow. And then you have to rehumidify it after you've aged it for years.
Right.
And to be able to do that, I mean, look, it's simple science that I learned when I was a little kid. You can't mix oil and water, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's natural oils in all the tobacco. And if you put the cigar in there with humidity and it's sitting on a shelf, it doesn't matter if it ages a week or 10 years, you didn't marry the tobacco, the oils within the tobacco that you have.
Right.
You have to take all the humidity so the oils all mix and marriage together and then bring it back up when you're finished aging it.
So now when these were being aged, they were being aged already rolled, correct? Or they were
Yes. Yes. Okay.
So
I used aged tobacco and then I rolled it and aged it.
And then aged it again. Gotcha. Yep. Gotcha.
Do you have your own factory still? Are you running your own factory?
Yeah, I have my own factory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I had just opened up a couple factories in Nicaragua, but I decided to start up I had a factory in New York State, upstate New York for a long time, and a lot of rollers. And then I decided to, do it down in Venezuela, then Ecuador. And I'm now building my factories and actually have rollers in Pennsylvania.
Oh,
wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Life there too. Sure. That's awesome.
Mm.
Wow. That's fabulous, Lars. Really, you're amazing. Your stories are incredible. I'm
not
so
really that amazing. I just
the
guy who works hard.
You work hard. You
work hard. Yeah,
I don't think you ever stopped working since 8 years old. So
when you're as stupid as I am, you have to work harder. That's all.
Well, genes just keep working, so they stay busy. That's the way it looks at. So,
and again, I can't remember which one said it. You have to surround yourself with really smart people.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
I have to give the credit to a lot of my team. I couldn't be anything, do anything. Hey, Vic, how you doing, baby? Vic, I couldn't do anything without having great team around me and great people to work with me and assist me and do all the things that I do with me as a great team. So, I owe a lot of everything I do to the people that I worked with throughout the whole years. I had really, when I really started making the cigars a business, it was, I'm doing good, Vic. I miss you, brother. When I love Vic. He's just an amazing guy.
Awesome.
I've known him for years. He's an amazing guy. I love him. So when I first started, I really selling to the public and making this into a real business, I had 2 girlfriends that were with me, and they basically are the ones who really built the whole business. And they were the brains behind building it and getting me to make bands and make boxes and be like a real company. So, it was a lot of other people that helped build this. I can't take all the credit like that, but I just worked really hard and had great teams around me and really smart people around me.
So now, Lars, you had sold your cigar business.
No, I never sold it. I was partners with Alan.
Oh, okay. So you were partners at that point. You never really sold. Okay, so you were partners.
And then when he was ready to sell his company, I just took all my brand and my name and everything back.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know what? I'm curious. How do you juggle 2 girlfriends?
Well,
they were girlfriends.
Yeah. Well, at that time, look, I've never really been that monogamous in New York. Listen, I never lie. I never cheat.
Right.
The girls were all living with me and sleeping in the same bed with me. So, it wasn't like.
You are a genius.
No. But when I was in New York, I had 3 apartments and 6 to 10 girls in every apartment.
Oh shit! I had a basement apartment.
and then the girls that helped me build the company, they were living with me and sleeping with me.
Damn.
Hey, listen, I'm not a playboy. It wasn't like I was like a playboy or any of that kind of stuff. Not at all. I was just too much of a pussy to say no. And I just didn't get how to say no to the girls. But I was honest with them. I tell them, listen, I'm not like monogamous. I'm going to always be having sex with multiple girls. And I told them it's mostly because I have a hard time saying no to different girls.
Bob had a hard time finding someone to say yes.
It was rough. And listen, I'm not a person who whoever I didn't lie or cheat with the girls. So I was just always honest with them. And I've just been always upfront. But I'm also old school where I believe in, I don't listen to women talking stupid shit. And most women are kind of stupid. So I would just tell them, you have low value in reality.
Oh my God.
And you are definitely not the prize. I believe that a girl should always love you more than you love them. And I was really never in love with any of them. I just, let them stay with.
16 women just dropped out of the show.
Sorry about that. Listen, I got to be honest about it. I believe that, girls should be loyal to you, but, they can't handle it mentally any other way. I think that women need to be monogamous and men are not built to be monogamous.
No.
We're built to spread our seed. And, women can only have 1 kid in a year. Men can have hundreds of kids in a year.
So how many little Lars are out there that you don't know about?
Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't want to see a bunch of paternity tests coming in. Joe.
Do you still have the modeling agency? Or
No. I gave that up a long time ago. I didn't even want to. Listen, I was just good in the business, but I was not like somebody who really wanted to be in that business. Gotcha. Hey, Billy, how you doing? I really just was like, it was something that I was just good in. And I could spot, I had an eye for symmetry. And, in the modeling business at the time when I came into it, everybody had their little niches. And I didn't believe in any of that stuff. I thought it was really more about science and numbers.
Like
and so
38 double D's.
Well, no, most of them have to be flat tested because you're wearing designers' clothing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But one of the rules that I had very, very strict rules with myself. I would never, once I worked with a girl or helped them monetarily or worked with anything like that, I would never have sex with them. Just never. And I never had sex with any of the girls in my modeling agency. I had sex with lots of famous models, but they were already successful. I wasn't doing anything with them like that.
So once they became famous, you just discarded them.
Well, I didn't discard them. Those are the only ones that lived with me. But, the ones that I helped or tried to work on their career, I would never have sex with.
Right.
Wow.
If I was at all helping them financially, I did never had sex with them. My parents, really trained me like that since I was a young kid. And they said it was, you can never have sex with a girl if it feels like, if it seems at all like there's some kind of arrangement or give and take. Even if the girl doesn't realize it herself, you're taking advantage of them and you can't do that. So I had my own ethical code. When I went into the business, I lived by it. I just would never do it. Doesn't matter how hot they were, how much they wanted to be in a relationship with me. I just wouldn't do it. There was a cutoff immediately for me. And I stayed that way. I just never.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
So how large is your cigar line, Lars? How many Vitolas do you have?
In that I couldn't even count, but in brands, it's well over 250 to 300 different brands, and I manufacture for other companies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fabulous. Wow, amazing.
Wow.
And in my predicate brands, when they were about to do the predicate brand stuff, when I applied for all of that and registered different brands for the predicate brands, there was well over 350.
Damn.
At that time.
Wow.
That's fantastic, man. Wow. That is really kudos. That's unbelievable.
You're an amazing guy.
I didn't know they've even been important to do it that way.
Well,
it happened to be that I didn't even realize I had that many at that time. When we were starting to register everything, I thought, well, I must have 150 or 200, but it was well over 350.
Wow. Guys, last month we met the most interesting man in the world.
That's true.
Right now, we met the most interesting man in the world.
Yep. Yes. The most interesting man in the world does not have anything on Lars.
No,
I can tell you that.
I feel like I'm when people around me, I'm kind of a. When you're a workaholic, you kind of are boring. It's only exciting when you see the outside things of what you've accomplished. That it seems interesting. But I'm lucky. My girlfriend does not. My main girlfriend right now, who I'm monogamous with her. I don't do anything with any other girls. But not that she would.
25. You can keep her around a long time. Don't worry about that.
Listen, she would not have jealousy at all. She's totally cool if I wanted to hook up with other girls, but I just don't.
Right.
It's too much. But, and I didn't really want to be that way anyways. I wanted to be monogamous. It's just hard to do with so many girls.
Right.
But, I always worked really hard on stuff. And I was not like a person who really liked going out and partying. I never drank. I didn't do drugs. I just was I enjoyed my work.
Right.
And I just wanted to work. So when girls came into my life, I didn't go out with them. I didn't date them. I didn't bring them out to places and go on vacations. They just had to become part of my life and go on my terms. And that was it. Because if I had done anything else, how could you do all the things that I do? I just
things that you've done. Yeah, you couldn't do it.
Exactly.
You wouldn't have the time.
No.
You wouldn't have the time.
You wouldn't get out of bed.
So many
and for good reasons.
Yeah. So luckily I was able to keep myself focused and just kept working.
How about the music side of you? How's that going? Are you putting out any more music? Are you writing?
Actually, I'm writing all the time. I'm doing shows again. I'm going up. Actually, today, right before I got here, I just drove back from a long meeting. I'm setting up a tour company with some really cutting edge. I can't really talk about it because it's going to blow so much stuff away in the industry. And I'm developing an artist I have a few artists that are signed to me, and I'm developing these new artists that are incredible. And mostly I do like hip hop and trap music. And right now my music is like kind of trap country. Did you go on my YouTube and check out?
I did. Yes.
So like I do more like trap country, and it's when I was young, really young, like 12, 13, 14, I was really DJing first, but at the time it cost you like $20 to $25 to get an MC. There was no MCs, and you were only getting paid like $75 to $100, and I didn't want to give up $20 or $25 to an MC to come in and do this. So I just set up a microphone and started doing my own MCs, talking about myself, and then DJing, and that became more popular than my DJing skills. So other people came in and DJ'd for me. And I was throwing like little basement parties in Brooklyn and Queens and whatever. And then I would go and do events and shows in Harlem. And I built up a pretty big audience. And I was just doing rap music. And then I got signed by CBS Records. And so from like 15 to 19, I did a lot of rap music. And then I still am doing it. I ended up, one of my partners and girlfriends was two of them wanted to be doing music. So I ended up teaching them a bunch of instruments, and we had bands together. And I started doing a little metal band and a rap act. And I continued to do that for a while. And then I went back to doing more of the trap music now, like trap country. Gotcha. And my girlfriend is an amazing singer. She can sing opera in a number of different languages. She can rap. She writes incredible songs. And she's a super talent. She didn't really take music too seriously, but now she's kind of wants to start doing music for real. And it would be country music, like a country trap style music. And then I have another artist, this girl, Alessandra, who's really awesome. And she's the one who's promoting the Bad Barbie now.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And she is an amazing singer, songwriter. I taught her how to play drums and guitar and bass, and she's turned into this really great musician and amazing drummer, amazing guitar player, great bass player. And she writes her own stuff, produces it. And I've been teaching, I had a lot of martial arts students around me. So a lot of the times my martial arts students wanted to also learn how to play music. So it ended up becoming a lot of my bands were also my martial arts students. And then they also.
Very cool.
All right. Question. You do also martial arts?
He did.
Yeah. I've been training martial arts since I was a little kid.
So you got your own sensei now?
Well, no, I've been teaching martial arts since I was very young.
Yeah.
And I lived all over the world training martial arts since I was a young kid.
Good for you.
So what discipline?
Oh, enormous amount of disciplines. The One family, the last royal samurai family.
Right.
Big Master One, he adopted me when I was 21 legally so that he could bring me as a disciple. And I studied everything from jujitsu, kenjutsu, with the art of the samurai.
Any aikido?
Kung fu?
No, not really. I worked with aikido stuff, but I did a lot of jujitsu.
I was aikido because I didn't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah, and I did boxing for a long time. I trained under Sidney Martin. Sidney Martin was one of the greatest boxers in the world. And he was a lightweight world champion. Then he went on to becoming the highest paid boxing trainer in the world. He trained everybody from Sugar Ray Leonard to Muhammad Ali to George Foreman. I mean, he trained everybody. And you can see him as a corner man back when Muhammad Ali was Cassius Clay.
Right.
And yeah.
Wow. I mean, that is so fucking cool. Like I said, he's basically done everything.
Everything.
No, I haven't done everything, but I there were certain things I was interested in, and like the martial arts and all that martial arts training and the meditation and all the different disciplines I did. That really was mostly to I grew up in a family that I didn't really have a hard life. So I knew that you had to have some kind of struggle and structure to develop your character.
Right.
So I put myself into positions where I had to really struggle and really work hard and have discipline in my life so I could build my character like that.
And that created your focus too.
Yes.
That was the cornerstone of you becoming very focused.
Yes, absolutely.
And those disciplines do that. They allow you it frees up your mind in a way that allows you to truly focus on that thing that you're accomplishing in the moment.
Absolutely.
People do get, sidetracked very easily.
Yeah, it's called life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't fulfill all these desires.
Yeah.
Because you're busy working and,
the
normal person, not like you.
No, I work. Believe me. I think that the thing is I didn't let myself get distracted by women. I had a lot of women, but I never let myself get distracted by them.
How do you do that?
You have one house master, bottom bitch. I don't know what you want to call it. And that girl is the one who arranges and schedules everything. And
the women,
so the madam handles
even the time I would have sex with the girls, I'd spend time with them. It was all in a schedule, super tight schedule.
After the show, we got to talk. I got to do all this.
So talking about that, Bob, we have
man wants.
We have. I don't know, Lars, if you remember Ishmael Olivan. He is on right now, and he had said that you guys did a interview together, and after the interview you guys chat for he doesn't know even how many hours, but you got to meet a lot of the same people, and you had a great time. Do you remember Ish?
Yes, very cool guy.
BAMF Cigar. Yep. Okay. He's on, and he just wanted to let us know.
Hey, how are you, brother? It's good to see you.
Yeah,
Good,
I think that
Hey, Chris
I got Chris over here thinking the bottom bitch. Out of that whole thing, that's what the people remember, Lars, the bottom bitch.
I don't know what's left to say. You know what? Commercial break.
I think that a lot of the people when they I think our society right now, and listen, to a certain degree, I really think that the wokeness has helped a lot of things in society, but also hurt a lot of things in society.
Right.
Because we have to have the species as a human species. If we want to keep going, we have to understand our roles in this life. It's not that women or men are better than each other.
Right.
Because I think that in the whole level, not like the super smart people, but on just the big average of smarter people, I think women are smarter on the average.
Generally, yes.
But the super smart men are way smarter than women. I'm not one of those. But I just knew that I wasn't going to allow women to distract me from doing what I was doing.
Right.
And I think that you kind of have to, for our species as a human species to go, we have to know our roles. And women have to know where they fit in society, and men have to know where we fit in the society. Right. And men have to be providers and protectors.
Right.
And women have to let the men guide them, and they got to follow men. Yeah. And if you don't do that, it doesn't work. It just doesn't.
Yeah, it gets bizarre when we start talking about, multiple genders that in the end, there's only two.
Doesn't exist.
Exactly. And feminism has really hurt our society. And it wasn't started by women. Women just fell for it. It was started a long time ago, probably 1600s, where there was a big plan to have the state or the power be able to take over the family.
Right.
And when you break up men and women from their jobs, and women are working and men are working, they're not able to take care of the kids.
Right.
And when you have men not doing their jobs and women not doing their jobs, you break down the structure of our society, and it doesn't help anybody.
Right.
It only hurts us. And the women especially with social media now, the women that think, oh my God, all these guys are getting in my DMs. They just want to have sex with you. They're not interested in a relationship. You're not getting married. Young women should wait to go to college till later When you're 18 to 22, that's when you got to find yourself a good husband, and you should never date anybody under 35. 35 and older is where the men are actually have like something going on. And when you're a young man, you should never ever date girls in a serious way where you're trying to build your life with them, because then you can never build your skill sets. Right. You need those years to build your skill sets and become a great man with good ethics and good morality. And then you can go ahead and go out into the world and help create a positive society. Right.
And what you're saying is absolutely true. But when you're 25, you know what you want.
Well, the problem
only one thing.
No, that's okay. Look, it's okay. There's lots of girls that will be fine with that. Right. But you can't be serious with them, the ones that are like that. You know, for pair bonding, if a girl has sex with more than 3 or 4 guys, by the time they hit the 5th guy, your pair bonding drops down drastically, and by the time you hit 6, 7, 8 guys, it drops really drastically. So women really should be trained by their parents. Like at 18 to 22, find a very wealthy, successful man, have kids, have a family, and if whatever else you want to do, you can do later. There's lots of time to do it.
Right. No, you're right about that.
And you can look at the most successful women out there. They're having a hard time getting men and keeping them. I mean, even like one of the most wealthy, famous people in the world, Kim Kardashian, how many has she ever kept?
Not many.
None of them.
None.
She's now single.
I think it's the whole family. You know.
Yeah. So I mean, look, you look at it. The more successful a woman becomes, especially when they're young, the less value they have.
Interesting.
They have more value if they build a family and have kids, and then later they can do lots of stuff and build a career and go to college and do all that other stuff. But you know, when you're fertile and young, by the time you hit 30, you've lost a huge amount of your eggs. By the time you're over 30, you're having geriatric pregnancies.
Right.
And how does that help society?
Right.
How does that help mankind and humankind?
Yeah, very well said.
Very well. Yeah, very good, Frank. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Very well said.
Very interesting way of looking at it. And,
people don't want to be. People don't want to talk about reality, and women hate that. I just didn't care.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Let me ask you. You probably had no time to care because of all the things that you've done. I mean, you know,
life is short, man.
Going and going. How many jobs at a time? How many businesses you're running at the same time? You had no time to be sidetracked. And I totally listening to you. I totally understand how you set your mind to do what you're doing. And I understand, you know, the way you're thinking about that whole factor. It's kind of Lars' way or the highway in one way, but you were focused on what you're doing, and a lot of people that working for you depended on you to make it happen for them also. And I think you also knew, you know, yourself.
They're the most important people to me. Right. Yeah. I never considered myself the boss above everyone. I believe in like an upside down pyramid, and I trained that to my management teams, where if you're the boss, you're on the bottom supporting everybody at the top. At the top of it is all your workers.
Right.
Yep.
And if you're managers, I tell them a very simple thing. If you know more than the other people, it's not to take advantage of them. It's to teach them and train them. If you're stronger than the other people, you're there to protect them, not to be able to dominate them or overpower them. And you know, you have to be that person if you're going to run a business and feel good about yourself. I mean, I know a lot of people run very successful businesses and they just only care about themselves and their money.
Right.
But
and that's sad. You know, and that's a very lonely place too.
Yeah. 100%.
For those folks. I mean, for sure. Like I said, tonight has been beyond eye-opening. You know, not only are we talking culture and the future of society, really, because we are in a tedious position as a society, and we can only hope that things will get better before they get worse. So, having discussions like this, I think, are great because it reminds us of our place in the world.
Yes.
And doing that, it's just been an enlightening show from many, many aspects. Like I said, from your ability to just focus and create not only products, because in the end, all of the things that you've done, you've created an end product. There's always been a product in the end. But I think what's amazing about you is you have become the product, really, in a way.
Yeah.
It is a product that is ultimately very much you. So whatever endeavor you choose to take your skill set, it just is an extension of who you are. And I thank you for that, because
thank you, brother.
Again, this beautiful cigar has made me go to places in my mind that I don't think I've been to in a while. For sure.
No.
Lars, how can people get your products? Do you have a regular website, or like the spices, or
there are
websites all your products?
There are places out there that are selling my product online, but there'll be more soon. I don't sell any cigars on LarsTetens.com. Right. I sell just a handful of spices and some leather products. But mostly we sell to stores, and I sell to distributors, and distributors sell to everybody else.
Right. Which is great. I mean, fantastic.
And I really keep it like, I'm not trying to build like a huge amount of product that is not great product. I'd rather build small and make it really high end.
Right. And that's what you've done with these cigars. I know for myself, this would be a cigar that I would say is right at the upper echelon.
Top shelf.
Like I said, for that price point, you're not going to get many cigars. And again, there's a lot of legacy brands out there that sell very high-end cigars. All more power to them. But I think when they try your cigar, they will be definitely incredibly surprised.
So I know hard to actually match or compare something else that they smoke with.
Oh, absolutely.
This is very unique.
Absolutely.
No question
it's
about
a very unique smoking experience. So for anyone who's listening, please make sure you find Lars's cigars.
Treat yourself. Treat yourself. That's all I think we can say for the most part.
It's a special
because it absolutely is a treat. We got a question by Eduardo, another Philly, Pennsylvania guy. He goes, are you going to make more hot sauce? Apparently, this is the second time I saw this by.
Oh, yeah. No, I have. Okay, cool, Eduardo. Yeah, I do have a bunch of different hot sauces. No, I don't have any on me right here, and I have this other seasoning that I love, and I think everyone else will love too, Rage. I use that on everything. It's so good. It's super hot. But yeah, and you'll be able to see that, especially coming up in the near future. We're working on big grocery store chains right now that we're going to be putting it into around the country.
Awesome. Wow. I can't wait to use the seasonings.
Yeah, I can't wait either.
I like to smoke. So I can see using these as rubs, really.
Thank you, Eduardo.
Nice set of ribs.
Oh, yeah. Really good.
Frank, we're going to have to go to a sponsor because Bruce Clark is asking. You know what that means?
Oh, yeah.
We'll come back.
We'll
run off to get us some sponsor break for right now, so people can go and do their thing.
Bathroom run.
And when we come back, we're going to play our favorite little trivia game. So when you come back, again, we have more fun ahead.
How smart are you?
There you go. That's the question.
Before we do the trivia game, I got to tell you one more story about the cigars.
Oh, yeah. We love your stories.
Sure.
Once when we come back.
Great cigars take time. The Fortaleza Libre story began in 2013 with the idea of starting a brand of cigars that would exemplify the strength and freedom that define America. Our premium cigar voyage for quality and taste led us to the Dominican Republic and the tobacco fields of Santiago and Tamboril. Tabacalera El Joyito would become a trusted partner, and in 2019, our smoking strong and living free journey was realized with the arrival to our shores of the Fuerte Libre Bodacious. Fast forward 5 years, 2024, Fuerte El Libre rebrands to Fortaleza El Libre. Same meaning, strong and free. Our portfolio has grown to 6 core lines to satisfy the palates of cigar smokers worldwide. For more information, visit our website at fylcigars.com. Smoke strong, live free. Welcome to GTO Dominican Cigars, a boutique cigar company that artfully blends and creates some of the finest handmade puros from the Cibao Valley in the Dominican Republic. We are 4th generation manufacturers and growers of tobacco with over 140 years of experience, offering a variety of styles, blends, and strengths. Mild, medium, medium plus, and full-bodied. We would truly consider it an honor for you to experience our cigars. Those who know smoke GTO.
Before you light your next cigar, be sure to check out Cigar Medics, the makers of the patent-approved humidimeter. The humidimeter is a tool designed to display the relative humidity inside your cigar. With this device, there's no more guessing. Simply insert the probes into the foot or cap of your cigar, and you can instantly know if your cigar is ready to be smoked. Buy now on cigarmedics.com and see site for other cigar accessories. With the humidimeter, you'll know when to hold them and know when to smoke them.
Years in the making, the Chief cigar was born, blended, boxed, and released to market on June 26, 2015. This cigar was developed by former fire chief, firefighter, cigar aficionado Ken Dorbecker, and has grown into a signature Firehouse cigar line.
All engines respond.
Including, of course, the Chief, a Nicaraguan Habano blend, Proby, a Connecticut Shade blend, All Hands, a Maduro Mexican San Andreas box press, and the brand new Fire Pole, a beautifully crafted San Andreas Habano barber pole. Join the Chief family and make us part of your humidor. R&A Treasures, out of Tampa Bay, Florida. The last of a legacy. The last of an inventory of Thomas Cristiano in a warehouse where everything is aged and well kept for all your pipe and smoking needs.
Lars,
we're back.
Frank and I, just how extraordinary of a person you are. Have you written symphonies too? That's right. I mean, I put you like a Beethoven or a Mozart. I mean,
exactly.
I did do some classical music, and I did write some opera when I was young.
There you go.
You were young.
That's not Mr. B.
Everything was young.
But I'll tell you a really funny story about cigar stuff. So when I was in my 20s, I went into this cigar store in Syracuse, New York, and they were selling my cigars there for a while. And I came in and I introduced myself. After I looked around the shop, I introduced myself to the guy, and the guy said, "Hey, do you carry one of these cigars? Do you make one of these in a Robusto?" I had no idea what Robusto meant. I knew what 5x50. We all just called it by
their
numbers. I never even called anything like Churchill, Lancero, Robusto. I didn't know any of that terminology. And so, and I'm terrible with names anyways. I can never remember names.
Join the club.
I can't remember names of things, people, nothing. I can't remember names. I'm just terrible with that. But so I was like, what's a Robusto? And the guy goes, "You're not Lars Tetens." I don't know anything about cigars. No, I really am Lars Tetens. And I pulled out my driver's license to show him, yeah, I am Lars Tetens. He said, "Are you an idiot?" And I was like, "Yes, what is a Robusto?" And then he told me, he brought out some like little size chart and showed me what a Robusto was. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And I saw the different names and I was like, "Oh." I thought I had heard of a Robusto, but I thought it meant like stronger cigar, something. I didn't even know what it meant.
Right.
And then one more thing. So my girlfriend, her company she's partners with a few other people. not me. I'm not a partner in the company, but she's one of the owners of 4 different cigar brands, and one of her partners, Uncle Fiesta, that they named the company after, and it's called Uncle Fiesta. That's part of the Bad Barbie line that you're smoking.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's part of that. And if you go to unclefiesta.com, you can get seasonings and cigars there, and they,
great.
they have some of that stuff. So,
Perfect.
We did have a question earlier, Lars, by
and I
Chris.
think they have a hot sauce there and a mustard there, just in case.
Unbelievable. So he wanted to know, Lars, do you speak multiple languages? Just trying to understand how you manage so many businesses.
Yeah, when I was a young kid, my dad only spoke to us in German, and my mom spoke to us in Yiddish, and I studied French so much that I dreamed in French and wrote in French and thought in French for years. And when I got older, I just totally, I didn't speak French anymore. Didn't speak, and I also trained learning Hebrew when I went to Hebrew school when I was a young kid. And my dad was Danish and German. My mom was Russian Jewish.
Gotcha.
So, I studied languages when I was a young kid, a bunch of other languages, but I just didn't maintain it. I think if you don't keep it up all the time,
don't speak it, you lose it. Absolutely, you lose it.
And when I travel in Germany, sometimes I understand German. I can speak a little bit of it just from, memory, but just it comes back to you a little bit. Same thing with France. Anytime I'm there, I can, I know enough French that I can understand a little bit and can speak a little bit. I remember watching the movie Perfume when I was in Morocco, and it was all in French. And I didn't even realize, I was just listening to it and understood pretty much all of it. And, but it was all in French, and I didn't realize that it was dubbed in French until afterwards when I saw the movie in America and it was all English.
Wow.
It was crazy. And Al Pacino was in that, and he was like, I think it was Al Pacino. No, it was not. It was the guy who did where he played a girl. Dustin Hoffman, right? Yep. Dustin Hoffman was in that movie, and I didn't even recognize him until I saw it in English and heard his voice.
Wow.
So weird. I didn't even recognize the actor.
Wasn't that Robin Williams who did wasn't it Robin Williams?
Well, he did it too.
Tootsie.
Tootsie was the original.
Tootsie. Oh, Dustin Hoffman. He was.
Yep.
Yep. Wow. Dustin Hoffman, man. He was amazing in that movie.
Yeah, he was very good.
That was a really great one. And that was all I wanted to say. Alan Rickman. Oh yeah, it was too. Oh, I got it. It's Eduardo. That's really interesting. You brought up Alan Rickman. So I was going into. I was comped as. So I usually stayed at the Bellagio. I went to this convention thing, but all the hotel rooms were booked up, and so my assistant called up the Venetian, and they looked me up. I guess I'm in some kind of blue book for hotel guests,
right?
And so they said, well, if you're going to be gambling with us, we can comp you a whale suite. I never gambled in my life, so they were trying to make me commit to gambling there. So I got on the phone. I said, listen, I'm not going to gamble there. I spend most of my time at the Bellagio. I'm not gambling, but going to the art museum that's there, and it's so beautiful. And so I told them, honestly, I'm not going to be gambling there. They said, well, if you think about gambling, and this was like a half an hour, and then finally she went back and forth to managers and said, we're going to comp you a whale suite here, and everything will be on us. The food, the things, everything will be on us. Wow. So I went there with my entourage, and I had over 10 people with me, and I went. It's a huge suite, so it didn't matter. But I went there, and Alan Rickman and his assistant and this other person they were all waiting in line. It was a huge long line to check in. Right. And I just go with my entourage to the line to check in. And then I go up to Alan Rickman to give him I love him as an actor. I thought he was one of the greatest actors. So I went to give him some seasonings and cigars and stuff. And his assistant, this woman, stepped in front of me please don't approach us like this. Don't want anything. So I was like, okay, I just wanted to give you this stuff because I really love Alan Rickman. I just wanted to give him a gift. He gave us so much pleasure and joy for this. I just wanted to give him a little gift. And she was like, no, that's okay. Please.
Really?
And as this was happening, an entire group of like 6 people from the Venetian came running over to us and saying, Lars, you don't check in here. You go to the whale suite. It's a whole nother area. You don't even have to sign. We're going to take you up, private elevator or whatever. And then they surrounded me and then walked me away with my entourage. And Alan and those guys are all looking like, what the fuck?
What did you just do to
He
me?
didn't come running to you then.
Take the gift. Take the gift.
It was so funny because I really loved that guy. I just wanted to give him something because he was so cool.
Well, unfortunately, he had one of his bodyguards stepping away on you, not knowing who you
and
are.
he was looking at me like I was a diseased person or a homeless person.
Well, it happens a lot to these celebrities, so I can understand why they were so,
Sure, but it was like,
but after
it was just hilarious the whole way that happened.
Like, wait a minute, how did he get the whale suite? Where did that happen?
And it was like a big
your next movie.
Funniest part about that was it was like a weed convention. It was like for all this was before weed was legalized everywhere. It was a long time ago. And so it was like for all the head shops and that kind of stuff. And so people were smoking weed in the place, but it was this big convention. And the people there were a lot of people who were there and they were staying in like cheap hotels and whatever. So I was just like, and they were all on a pretty tight budget. I told everybody to come up to my suite. Everybody ate and drank all night and then crashed out in my suite. And they had a great time. And I just let them come and crash and eat and whatever, drink. So I don't think the Venetian made much money on me because I didn't gamble.
That's great.
But it was a fun time. That was a great event.
We did have one of our listeners say that they mentioned that you didn't gamble, and the listener says, "What's the matter? That's the only thing you don't do."
Yeah, that's true. I don't
probably win at that too.
I think that you only listen. I think that the worst thing that can happen if you gamble is win. Right. Because then the rest of your life you're going to chase that win, and you think, "Oh, it's coming up, it's coming up, it's coming up," and the casinos are built to make money, not to lose money. You're never going to win money. You're never going to end up at the end of the day winning.
Twice, but you will always be down.
The house always gets their money back.
Absolutely.
And then some.
That's why they have the whale suites, is to get these people who will gamble millions of dollars a day.
Right. No, you're right.
And I've seen it. I've seen people that I'm friends with and know that lose like 8, 10, 12, 13 million dollars in a day. And that's just their fun.
Think about how many cigars they could have had.
I know.
Many things in general they could have.
That should have been in your money, in your factory.
Wow.
That's awesome, Lars.
I think owning your own business is kind of a gamble already, but you're at least betting on yourself.
Right.
And I think you have a little bit more control because you can put in as much work as you want to get out of the business.
100%.
Right. That's true.
100%, Lars. You definitely got that right. No question about it. Man, this has been a great one. Thank you.
What a wonderful.
Everybody obviously is loving your stories.
Having me on.
Oh, are you kidding? It's been our pleasure. It's been
now we're going to put your brain to test.
Now we're putting your brain to work.
Okay, well, it's not very good, so I'll be able to show that right away.
During this segment, we call this segment, I'm going to do a little intro. This segment is brought to you by our friend Steve Saka, who we created this little caricature of, and it winds up that it looks more like Mickey Peg than Steve, but Steve does appreciate it. So this is our Stump Saka Squatch section, and my whole thing is I love history. So trivia and history kind of make a great marriage. So during the first few questions, I ask it to everyone here. And then the last question is for our audience, and we usually do a little giveaway. Ron, what do we have to give away today?
Oh, right now I'm thinking that we can have a nice Oliva nub ashtray.
Very nice.
One of our
Very nice.
sponsors.
Love that.
Along
Nice. Very nice.
with a nub lighter. So obviously,
Nice.
you know, what do you need to light a lighter up and put something in? I don't know.
Exactly.
So,
Cigars. So,
that's the
Lars,
things we
is
got
there
tonight.
any way that we can bless the winner with a couple of your amazing cigars?
Of course, just send me an address and I'll send them out a little gift package.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
Thank you, Lars.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you so very much.
No
So
problem.
today I'm going to start with this date in history, and I'm going to go back, Bob, to 2009. So this B-movie star and kung fu actor was found dead in a Bangkok hotel room while
God.
filming a movie.
I know what it is, Grasshopper.
This 72-year-old actor was found hanging in his closet.
Yeah.
Who?
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Who is?
Come on,
this
the guy
actor?
from Kung Fu.
Well, you didn't tell
Yeah,
me.
but what's his name, Bob?
Oh, what's his name?
Come on.
Oh my God.
Come on.
Oh,
I definitely don't know that.
you really? You don't know that one?
Oh,
Oh,
David Carradine.
David Carradine.
David
There you go.
Carradine.
I
David
cheated. I looked at the thing.
Paul
message.
Levine had that.
Yeah,
All right,
there we
Paul.
go. There we
I
go.
just looked down too. I've been looking up there. Very good. Yes.
All right.
Unfortunately.
Now I'm going to move ahead to 2013. This U.S. car maker announced recalls for over 465,000 vehicles worldwide.
Ford.
And yeah, Ford.
Ford.
2013 for a possible fuel leak.
Yep.
It was Ford.
Wow.
Ford. That's a lot of cars to
That's
recall.
a lot of cars.
That's
Yeah.
a lot.
I think they're still recalling them.
That's
I was going to say, think about the Yugo. You know, I mean, what happened with that one?
You don't go.
Isn't Ford have their main headquarters in Chongqing now?
They might.
I don't know.
In
They
China?
Yeah, they might.
Yep.
Wow.
It's one
Out
of
of
the
Detroit,
biggest cities in the world. That's an incredible place to go. Anyways, sorry.
So we were speaking.
okay.
I'm going to go back to 1919. We were speaking of this kind of.
Feminist movement?
Yeah, well, it kind of gets to this point. The U.S. amendment to the Constitution, the 19th Amendment, Bob. What did that enable? The 19th Amendment in 1919 happened to be 1919, the 19th Amendment, Bob. What did that allow people to do? A certain group of people, Bob.
The women's rights to vote.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was the right to vote. That's
The
right.
right to vote.
Guaranteeing women the right to vote is passed.
And right before that, Edward Bernays, who was one of my mentors, one of the most incredible social mechanics in history, he was one who really promoted that and there was a cigarette company that wanted him to promote cigarettes. So he went to this, a shoot that was like a fashion shoot for Vogue. And he got 3 models to stand in the front line of this feminist march and all smoking cigarettes and holding them up like a torch. And he came up with this thing. And it was one of the things he regretted the rest of his life.
I would say so.
Getting women to smoke and smoking cigarettes. Yeah.
And then we gave the right to vote. I mean, come on.
Craziness. I think people should have the right to vote if they're joining the military.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's without a doubt.
For sure.
So let me give you one more.
Okay.
All right.
In 2008, on this great day in history, what space lab successfully attached to the International Space Station? This $1 billion laboratory was brought to space station by the shuttle Discovery. So who was this space station built by and for?
Who was it built by and for? Or the
Who was it built for? What country?
Russia.
No.
India.
This lab was actually built for the Japanese.
The Japanese.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it was assembled in 3 pieces, and it was equipped to study material and biomedical sciences. And it was as large as a bus.
Wow.
That part of the station.
Who was it? Sony?
I wouldn't put it past them.
Really?
All righty.
Wow. This is for the audience?
This is for
This
the
is for the audience, folks.
For the
So
audience.
get ready.
For the audience, folks.
You're going to get an ashtray, a lighter, and
I'll send them a package.
Yep.
And
Wow.
Okay.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right.
Ready with the music there, Ron? There we go. Perfect. I love this music. So, in 1967, the 19th Emmy Awards, what musical group won an Emmy?
Okay, let's see the answers. Tim should answer this right away, knowing Tim.
1967, they won an Emmy.
ABBA, 1967?
Oh, a little
No.
too early for them.
The Fifth Dimension.
No.
Jackson 5.
No.
The Monkees.
The Monkees. The
Whoa!
Wow.
There
The
you go.
Monkees.
Wow.
Eduardo,
The
Mr.
Monkees is
Philadelphia.
correct.
There you go.
Nice.
The Monkees.
Congratulations,
Like
Eduardo.
Monkees.
Again.
Eduardo.
Yep. They
All right,
they
the
along
Monkees.
with, you know what else won an Emmy? Mission Impossible.
Really?
Mission
Okay.
Impossible. And Don Knotts. The
Don
Don Knotts
Knotts?
Show. Yes.
No kidding.
Yeah. And Lucille Ball.
Wow, that's a little late for her.
Yeah, 67.
67?
Yeah, 67.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, considering the show was from the 50s to the early 60s.
Yeah, but then
Lucille
she had
Ball.
her own
And
show.
she had
too.
the Lucille Ball show. Don't you
That's
remember?
what she made it on, a
That's what
Lucille
she got.
Ball.
All right,
Yeah,
that was
Lucille
late.
Ball
I'm
show.
still thinking
Yeah.
about
No,
the
no, no,
original
no.
Lucille
I
Ball
know.
show.
No,
All
Okay.
right,
Yeah.
Eduardo,
I
send me your address. Well, I got your address, actually. Lars, I'll PM you his address so you can
Thank
get
you
that
very
out
much.
to him. All
Thank
right.
you.
Well,
Wow.
again,
What a show.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You are
cigar.
amazing, gentlemen. You really are, Lars. And I thank you for taking our offer for being on our show.
Well, it was an honor to be on the show with you
Thank
guys.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I know you normally run your Tuesday night podcast show. I think I asked you once, don't do it on our show because I
Yeah.
want to watch your show.
Right.
So when you run it on our time, I can't watch you.
Yep, I called it off for tonight.
This is an absolutely
This cigar
exquisite
was-
cigar. I don't even want this to end.
It doesn't want it to end.
I
He's
don't
like,
want it to end.
Thank
Frank
you so
finished
much.
this, and I'm
Thank you.
sitting here nursing this.
And I
Wow.
want to thank Frank, your guy that's on with you, because I asked Frank to hook this up in for us. So Frank, you're
Yeah.
still listening. Thank you, because this was an amazing show, and I know you blew us all away with your knowledge, and you know you are the most interesting man in the world.
No,
Absolutely.
no.
Absolutely.
On the show. No, you've been incredible. The stories, and I'm reading comments, and just a delight to our audience. And we definitely will love to have you back again if you can find
Yeah.
a little bit of time of your time.
Sure, I'd love to come back.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
That'd be
very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
It was an honor to
All
be on the
right.
show.
Oh,
Continue
thank you
doing what
again.
you're doing, buddy.
And from all of
Yes,
us,
yeah, don't
all
stop.
of you,
Don't stop.
have a great night. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week for our wonderful pairing.
Yo, pairing next
got a
week.
pairing
Yeah,
next
yeah,
Have
week.
a great
John,
evening, guys.
yeah.
Yes. Have a
Take
great
care.
night.
Yes.
folks. Good
Cigar
night.
in a bottle and Joey G. Good night, everybody.
Tell my brothers to line 'em up. We'll drink that whiskey from those old dirty cups. We'll toast to the present, the future, and the past. This ain't my first drink, but I sure it ain't my last. 'Cause this world is so beautiful. I see its love come shining through. This world is so beautiful. I feel its love come shining through.